too, so we can start. The guys are all here, the kids, you know.
Oh, great, yeah.
Anytime.
Chapter show.
Oh, okay. Oh, he does? Oh, okay.
Yeah, not just about something. Yeah, about the former judge.
They have like 50 kids. 5 All right, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out to tonight's council meeting. Meeting called to order. Let's begin with our subdivision.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting is now called to order. In line with the Borough of Seabright's long-standing policy of open government and in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, I wish to advise you that adequate notice of this regularly scheduled meeting was sent to the National Park Press and other local newspapers on January 10th, 2023. In each instance, the date, time, and location of this meeting were provided in the notice. This meeting is open for public. Roll call. Councilmembers Bieber. Here. Booker. Here. Catalano. Here. Gorman.
Here.
Keeler.
Present.
Lamy. Here. All right, Mayor Kelly's here. All right, we're going to begin with a moment of silence and for a former judge of ours, Tom Foley. He's a great guy. I knew him pretty well. He was long-standing judge here in Seabright. He passed away recently. So to start with, Council President Jeff Brewer, I'd like to say a few words about Tom.
Yes, he was our judge for a number of years, and he was very flexible with his schedule. Whatever we needed, he pitched right in. And I miss him. He was a great guy. And I hope we can get his wife's address and write her a letter. We just relating our strong feeling for our husband. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Jack. Yeah, Tom was a very nice guy. He's to work with. He loved working in Seabright. So just have a moment of silence for him. Thank you, everyone. Okay, first up, we want to have a presentation. 3 of our recent graduates here. We're going to honor them tonight for doing excellent work in their careers there at the Shore Regional. And first up, we'd like to recognize Cindy for being the valedictorian of Shore Regional High School, which is quite an accomplishment, and also the recipient of a $1,000 Maria D. Fernandez Memorial Award. So Cindy, we just wanted to congratulate you for doing such a great job and representing Seabright so well with your scholastic accomplishments at Shore Regional. So you have quite a big class there too, and you came out on top, so that's very impressive. Congratulations. And we'd also like to recognize our other 2 Seabright graduates And they also, Ryan McGarry and Ryan Zielinski, they've also done an outstanding job with their scholastic accomplishments, and they are also each receiving a grant of $500 each too. So congratulations to them also. And Amy,
Please.
yeah, Amy, I know you won the award during a COVID year.
Oh, yeah, I did.
So you have been awarded on a public recognition, so we just wanted to give you a little after the fact congratulations.
Thank you.
Sure, it sounds great. Much for photo.
Yes. Oh, shit. Why not? One, two, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can congrats everybody.
They don't have to say good meeting.
Okay. Yeah, we're not offended if you want to leave early. The meeting's going to go on for probably another hour, but you're free to stay. But if you do leave, we're not offended. Thank you. Sure.
Very good.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Congratulations.
Next up, we'll do our remarks from the audience. If there's anybody in person or online who'd like to refer, just please state your name and your address, and you have up to 3 minutes to address the governing body. Is there anybody who'd like to be heard?
Yes, hi.
Could you please come up front?
Sure. I've been here once before. Meg Mannix. I live in Sunrise. Some people may remember I was here before, but I'm representing our HOA because we're still having terrible flooding issues. And we still believe part of it is from some changes that Ocean Reef made to their property. And we've been in touch back and forth with the engineer and everything in town. I'm sure you're all well aware of it. So I came one more time to plead our cause. And with it, they had built a cement gutter. There's a cement gutter on Ocean Reef property that goes right to the fence that borders between both of us. So during a rainstorm, it's the same picture, the water flows and the arrows pointing towards Sunrise from an overflow. Those are the most important, but it ends up flooding there. And this is the cement chute. It's a cement chute, like a gutter, and it literally just points, because we're lower, it points down towards us, and it's causes this type of flooding that comes over to our property. So in the correspondence that our HOA manager has had with the township, she had been told that any change like this that's made to the property would need a permit, and they have no record of a permit. So that's all I'm here to say. We'd like that investigated. That's all. And we think that the removal of that would help us a little bit. because we have a lot of flooding and a lot of remediation that we've been spending money on. So really it's, sorry, just here for that cement gutter and the fact that we believe it was done illegally.
Is that just a result of rain, or is that?
It's rain, for that particular piece, it's rain because there's a drain right there and that overflows from it's their parking lot. And then it overflows the drain, comes from their parking lot and shoots towards us. And gravity does the rest.
Can you just remind us the HOA to HOA communication that's taking place? If you could just summarize sort of what's taking
Yeah, I
place.
wish I could. I knew that much. I mean, I've read this. This is a log of the conversations between both Tina from our management, Mary, who must be in the engineer's office.
Or zoning officer.
Yes, okay. And so this goes from, this is just this year, starting with January.
I wouldn't want you to go through.
I'm not going to, trust me.
But if you could kind of summarize, the HOAs talking to each other in any
The HOAs have talked to each other, their engineers have met, and we have engaged an engineer, as has Ocean Reef. And Ocean Reef did respond by putting some sort of plug on something that they have out by their bulkhead. And this is not by the bulkhead. My memory after reading this is there's been no communication response about the cement channel between either.
I mean,
I know what you're at, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Obviously, the best thing that could happen is the HOAs would resolve this between themselves.
Right.
Rather than the town having to get involved.
Of course.
Do you think you're at an impasse between the HOAs now?
I think we are, but you know what? I'll ask Tina to see if this specific thing has been addressed with the other HOA.
Okay, that would be helpful.
Yeah, and then if not, whatever, should I have her write to whom?
Well, Councilman and Mayor and Council, Greg Glass has been involved in this since the start, monitoring the dialogue between the engineer and the two associations. We thought it was resolved. I guess it's not finally resolved. Unfortunately, no one has the original site plans to know if it was approved or not approved. Not that it wasn't approved, we just don't know if it was approved.
The cement piece?
Correct. And Greg doesn't have a lot to go on. I know Roger had some preliminary discussions with them, but right now, I think there's a little bit of an impasse. It's like Ocean Reef did what they thought they would do to resolve it. It didn't resolve it. And I'm not quite sure where it stands right now.
They did do the one part, they were responsive. I don't know if there's a permit somewhere, is that what you can't find?
Well, the original site plan.
Right.
From the approval for Ocean Reef.
Okay.
I need to say something. I'm not here for this, but Elizabeth DeGiulio, 1540 Ocean Avenue, Ocean Reef. I'm not currently on the board, but I was on the board when that berm was built. And the problem we had then was that the water was coming from Sunrise down to us, and then it was going into Island View. Island View was having a big problem with flooding and was blaming it on us, but it was coming from Sunrise to us down to Island View. So it was like bump, bump, bump. And that's when we put the berm in. And the borough engineer at the time, what was her name? Jackie had suggested that it be like a spoon at Sunrise. And they never, I don't think they ever followed up on that suggestion. And at the time, there also, she said there was a duckbill outlet in Sunrise. And that was a town issue, I think, and that was going to be replaced. The duckbill. That's been replaced.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not. This is your berm. I know you're talking about this. This is what I'm talking about.
Okay, that's been there forever.
It's probably to answer your question.
Okay, and I just needed to say this.
I think it would be helpful if you check the HOA situation.
I will.
And then I would suggest who Joe is referring to, Greg Lash is our township engineer that handles this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Once you find out the HOA situation,
Sure.
I would get in touch with administration, let us know what you found, and then we'll get Greg to take a look at it.
Okay, but what I'm understanding is there is no plan that could back us up as far as, that would say, yes, they got a permit to build this. There's no original site plan.
There's no original site plan.
Okay, so then what you're saying is it can be built. It can stay.
What we're really saying is that there's nothing there that would dictate that the borough should get involved in the situation. It's really a situation between two private property owners. We've been trying to help, we've been trying to
No,
encourage.
but you've been very responsive.
Some things are not, amenable to municipal action, this is one of them, so.
Okay, well, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
We'll look back, thank you.
All right, anybody else like to be heard tonight?
Mrs. Curran, we asked her to come back.
Yes.
Please come forward. About the property over there. Next door.
So I brought,
Name and address?
Karen Canto. This is,
Ben, 15 East Church Street.
you had asked me to bring this back. These were the signatures we collected from everyone on the street. That everyone.
Okay, so last time you were with us at the workshop, not all the council members were there.
Right.
So could you just give us a quick summary of the subject?
We would like to purchase from the town the piece of property against the seawall between our house and the seawall. And right now, there's, I guess people walk through there, so that was the main concern. We have on the other side of our house, we have a walkway with planks. And a lot of people use that. Like, most people who are riding on bicycles go through there too because it's planks versus the sand. And so we want to landscape it. We would like to maybe put a deck on the side of our house and landscape it nicely. And right now it's blocked off by the bicycle rack and the garbage cans anyway. And there's always garbage in there. There's a lot of glass. So we just want to, beautify it and leave the walkway on the other side. We'd even put a sign up to beach there, just in case somebody doesn't know it's there. But so that's it. And we spoke to everyone on the street. All the other property owners would like it. They, think it would be beneficial to everyone on the street. So, and we had collected, when we first asked to buy the property, we had collected signatures from everyone.
Can you leave that with us?
Yes,
With-
I made
with,
8 copies.
Chris Pfeiffer, our clerk?
Yeah. That's, want to say anything then?
Well, just like, we have 32 East Church Street, and we were fortunate enough for you guys to sell us the property. She did a great job doing the garden. We clean it up weekly. Even 15, we clean it up weekly, because it's like she said, there's always plastic bottles, garbage,
Yeah,
and
there's lots of
everything.
garbage in there.
It's like a weekly cleanup and everything. Personally, in my opinion, I think it's a little bit of an eyesore. We just would love to clean it up. She would love to do some plants, maybe a nice little deck, and like we said, even maybe clean up the back, make a nice little walkthrough for everyone. It's like she said, a lot of people, because I live here full time now for like the last 3 years. A lot of people cut through there with the bikes and stuff. And it's great people. I think also with the neighbors, a lot of the neighbors do agree with the fact that a lot of people will park down at the end of the East Church Street, and then, or not the neighbors, anyone coming for the beach, they'll park there and they'll block everyone, and then they just walk there because
Without a pass, and they'll even ask us how much the ticket is and say, oh, I'll take the ticket.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people. I see last year there's been some.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I saw it was raised a little bit, so maybe hopefully it'll change a little bit this year. But we definitely like to make it like 3, where it's a beautiful garden in the back, and we get lots of compliments every day. So.
And again, we're gonna leave that other walkway, and we'll, if you want a sign, we put a sign up there also. So lots of people use that other walkway now. So.
I know some of you heard last time. So this one, the backstory is we go to consider a few years ago, didn't opt in, it's it's a public walkthrough. So what I suggest doing is maybe take a look at the spot, and then we can have at a future meeting we can discuss it again, and then whatever the governing body chooses to do. You have 2 options basically: keep it as is or sell it off. And I would say that if you end up selling it, then they you'd apply, but if not, the minimum would definitely be, I mean, it's a pretty small spit of land, but we do have to definitely have it maintained, because it is, you know, it's running.
I put the bike rack back together with laying flat.
Yeah, well, it's like, oh, I feel like it's just with the garbage cans and even the bike rack, because even today I meant to grab a picture, but I mean, you're still struggling to walk through that. And even today I picked up at least 1 or 2 glass bottles because we were cleaning up and doing the weeds.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll admit I did see the DPW for the first time, in my opinion, last week, and it was one of our guys that works for a DPW, and he hit down some of the weeds. That's like the first time I've personally seen the town clean that up. But I mean, I clean it up every week because I just, you know, I love this town. It's a great town.
Sure. Yeah. So depending on what happens, if the town is keeping it, we definitely at a minimum. We just have to add it to our regular rotation and maintain it. You know, and of course, if they want to go maintain it actually, but we definitely have to stay on top of that because it's overlooked. I don't think you know, there's a lot of stuff going on.
How do we determine the value?
Yeah, there's some aspects of this I think would be better for us to discuss at a separate time.
Yeah.
Well, the sale of real estate is a legitimate closed session item that you folks can discuss if you want any conditions, easement, you know, or something that will keep it that way. If the Perns decide to sell it and leave, that it will always stay the way you want it. So Roger and council can talk about that in closed session of what the conditions are we would provide.
Yeah, we already, I said last time, I guess I forgot this time, the easement is fine with us. And you did sell us the other piece of property behind East.
Yeah, facing the boardwalk for free.
I guess you
Very
figured
fortunate
out.
for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So this may be the last time that you're here that we're talking about this, but I just want to repeat what you said last time to make sure we're all on the same page. First of all, what you're interested in is buying the piece of property at some value to be determined by the town.
Correct.
That is going to affect your property assessment, which means it will affect your taxes.
Yeah, so the tax will go up.
In return for that, you agree to potentially widen and maintain the passageway that's to the west of that.
Yes.
And effectively make that the primary public crossover point.
Yes.
Right. So giving up a little bit of property to widen it, because right now I've walked it, it's a very narrow path, but you've agreed that you would widen that and maintain it and provide easement rights to that to the town. So as Mr. Baruni just said, in the future, if you're not there, we have public access to that area for people to walk across.
Yes.
And also the commitment, which I think you said you'll maintain it the way you are the other property, which when you look at it right now from the seawall is a very nice property.
Yes.
So that's kind of the way you summarized it last time?
Correct.
Did I forget anything?
Nope, I think that's right on the money. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anybody, I think everyone probably knows where it is. We're the first house here on the south side. I'll get anybody over to take a look. I know Heather, you and I will go over today and take a look at it. And, all right, sounds good. Anybody else like to be heard tonight? Anybody online? All right, so I guess next up, what I'm going to do is just have one addition to the agenda prior to going to the consent agenda. It's regarding the potential purchase of a new fire truck, like an aerial truck for Seabright. So I just make a statement regarding the acquisition of the aerial truck for our Seabright Fire Department. The mayor and council have been working with the fire chief, the chief financial officer, and the borough administrator to take advantage of an opportunity to replace our borough's current 75-foot aerial truck with a new truck at a significant savings over what was projected in the borough's capital plan. The plan has envisioned ordered a replacement truck in 2025 at a cost of approximately $1.4 million. As a result of the efforts of the fire chief and his committee of firefighters, the borough has the opportunity to acquire a new custom 75-foot aerial truck at a cost of $1,053,174, less trading value or sale value of the current truck upon delivery of the new truck. This acquisition will be made utilizing the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program or the Houston Allison Park Council Purchasing Program, thus eliminating the delays and costs associated with acquiring the truck through the bidding process. The plan of discovery body is to introduce an ordinance to fund the acquisition of this truck at the next meeting of the governing body and to adopt it at the subsequent meeting. Once the funding ordinance is adopted and the period has passed, the governing body plans to award the purchase of the truck, taking advantage of the timing and pricing and benefit to the taxpayers and the fire department. It's a win-win situation. In addition to investing over $1 million in a new aero truck, the borough has appropriated funding to rehabilitate the fire department engine to extend its usable life, thus ensuring that our volunteer fire department has the resources necessary to continue to perform at the highest possible level for our residents and visitors.
No. Chris? Thank you. You can ask.
Hey, Mike, are you on the call cell?
I am.
That's our CFO, Mike Bass. Mike, would you like to make a few comments on this in addition to that?
I don't know if I have any comments in addition to that. The plan is to move forward. If we're going through the regular meeting process, that means the order wouldn't actually occur until September. If there's any special meetings or any opportunities to introduce the ordinance sooner or to adopt it sooner, that would just expedite the time frame for placing the order. But I think process-wise, I think your statement spelled it out.
All right. Thanks a lot. I think we're all set then to proceed as is.
Is everybody,
Yeah, so is anybody not in favor of this? Okay. Sounds good. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Chief. Guys. Thanks later.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Sorry, yeah.
Hey, thank you.
All right. There's a first one already.
Second slide.
All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the items that are listed on the consent agenda? So moved.
Second.
All right, council members Bieber?
Yes.
Booker?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Keeler? And Lonnie? Yes. All right, we have approved the consent agenda. Moving on to ordinances, the first one, ordinance number 8, 2023, Borough of Seabright, an ordinance providing funding for various capital acquisitions and improvements for the Borough of Seabright and appropriating $180,000 for such purchase. And this is the one that includes this correction and everything. Would anyone like to make a motion to open a public hearing on ordinance 8, 2023?
Second?
All right, Councilmember Bieber?
Yes.
Booker?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Keeler?
Yes.
And Lonnie?
Yes.
All right, would anybody like to be heard on ordinance 8, 2023? Any takers online? All right, would anyone like to close the public hearing on ordinance 8, 2023?
So moved.
Councilmembers Bieber?
Yes.
Booker?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Keeler?
Yes.
And Lonnie?
Yes.
Would someone please make a motion to adopt ordinance 8, 2023?
So moved.
Second?
All right, Councilmembers Bieber?
Yes.
Booker?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Keeler?
Yes.
And Lonnie?
Yes.
All right, we have adopted ordinance 8, 2023. Going back on ordinance to ordinance 7, 2023. An ordinance of the Borough of Seabright, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing in full Chapter 175, small cell wireless facilities of the Code of the Borough of Seabright, and establishing procedures and state standards regarding deployment of small wireless facilities and public rights of way in the Borough of Seabright. Would somebody please make a motion to introduce ordinance 7, 2023?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Jeff. Councilmembers Bieber?
Yes.
Booker?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Keeler?
Yes.
And Lonnie?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 7, 2023 has been introduced. All right, we're moving up to ordinance, capital ordinance number 9, 2023, Borough of Seabright, an ordinance providing funding for preliminary design expenses for the bulkhead improvement project for the Borough of Seabright, and appropriating $100,000 for such purpose. Can somebody please make a motion to introduce ordinance 9, 2023?
So moved.
All right, Councilmembers Bieber?
Yes.
Booker?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Keeler?
Yes.
And Lonnie?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 9, 2023 has been introduced. All Moving on to capital ordinance number 10, 2023, an ordinance of the Borough of Seabright amending and supplementing chapter 161 of the Code of the Borough of Seabright regarding the requirement for inspection of lead-based in certain residential dwellings. Will somebody make a motion to introduce ordinance 10, 2023?
Second.
Councilmembers Bieber?
Yes.
Booker?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Gilmer?
Yes.
And Lund?
Yes.
We have successfully introduced ordinance 10, 2023. All right, moving on to new business. We have vouchers in the amount of $903,465.47. Would anybody make a motion to approve that voucher list?
So moved. Second.
All right, Councilmembers Bieber?
Yes.
Booker?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Gilmer?
Yes.
And Lund?
Yes.
All right, the voucher list has been approved. All right, we are moving on to mayor and council comments. Anybody like to comment as it relates to your committees?
Mayor, I have a couple things.
Sure.
If that's okay. Quick update on the short-term rental activities. If you remember, we put an ordinance in place 10/2022 at the beginning of the year. So far, the program's going very well. Primary changes here are you're required to register, put an application in. You're required to get a certificate of occupancy, and you're also required to have a minimum stay of 7 days. We've had over 50 people already put applications in, which is tremendous. We were expecting somewhere between 40 and 50. We've had over 50 so far. We've also begun to collect the municipal tax, which is 3% of the rental rate. So far this year, we've raised over $30,000. We're hoping it's going to be on the order of about $75,000 by the time the year's done. But the main goal here is to get some overall enforcement and control of short-term rental activities, and so far it's off to a great start. And Joe, I'd like to thank again Karen and Tom for doing an outstanding job overseeing the program. It's going very well. The second thing I'd like to mention is you'll remember at a prior workshop and at a council meeting, we talked about council desire to increase oversight in public areas in the beach related to ordinance around smoking, alcohol, and dogs on the beach. Several meetings took place with the beach leadership and with the police department. There were commitments made to increase the level of oversight. Now that summer's here, we agreed that we wanted to do that. So both the beach and the police department are stepping up those activities, and Chief Friedman has agreed at our workshops on a monthly basis to give us an update of how that ordinance enforcement is going and any ordinances or tickets that are handed out as a result of that. The last thing I'd like to mention, at our last workshop, we talked about increasing concern of electric bikes in town, both the speed and how they're driven through town. The primary concern is particularly around the downtown area and the splash pad. They're very quiet, they're very fast, and potentially very dangerous. So we expressed a concern around that, and we said that we were going to get the Ordinance Enforcement Committee and the Safety Committee together to discuss potential approaches to deal with this. It's a reality that we have in town we have to face. We're going to start by looking at what other towns are doing in this space, and then work as a joint committee to bring recommendations back to the mayor and council on how to proceed with that, Mayor. Well, that's my report. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I just like to first say with vote tonight, the stretcher and the chest compressor are officially underway.
Thank you guys very much.
Good to
Anybody else have any comments?
I just want to make a comment. It's been 6 months trying to get our streetlights all back on. We do have about 20 of the 28 back on. I did get a call from the lineman last week that he's red taped a couple of the poles that need further intrusion of repair wiring and stuff. So tonight when I leave and it gets dark, I'm going to do my walkthrough and verify it and make sure that we're getting all the ones back online. It's a tedious process, and they have, I can't remember how many lights he told me they have in the state, but they go, right? They go out and they need attention, and we need to figure out how to keep on top of that. So, I'll follow up, but they did come out, Chief was letting me know that he had to put a patrolman behind them and follow them around. And they did get to a bunch of them. There was still a couple out, but they had the red tape on. I did verify that, so they'll be back. But if you have one, or a low-hanging wire, you need to let us know or call it in yourself. Because if the public calls it in, they get some treatment pretty good, I've noticed. Low-hanging wire, transformer leaking, they do respond to that when a resident reports it. It doesn't have to come through here and get bogged down in our administration. But I am watching. Thank you. Sure.
Give a beach update. We've been kind of slow because the weather has been a little crummy. Hasn't been hot like it has been the last few years, but we started lifeguard services in the Highlands on Saturday, and we also had the busiest weekend so far. We did a $20,000 weekend. We did have 10 rescues also. It was getting busy.
In the Highlands alone?
No,
that's about far.
Yeah. 10 rescues this weekend, no problems other than that. We do have fireworks coming up on the 30th, which I'm sure everyone remembers that. It's going to be nice. And that's it.
For the rescues, children, also?
Not sure.
I just sent an email around to all of the department heads, but just as a reminder on coming up, July 7th, News 12 is going to be coming to Seabright. They're going to be filming from 5:30 in the morning to 9 a.m. They have a Friday feature at noon called Main Street, New Jersey, where they feature different towns, and so they reached out to us to see if Seabright was interested. So just from a beach standpoint, want to make sure the rapes, what time do the rapes go out? They're perfect, right? Good timing, right? Yeah, it'd be great for that to capture that. So it'd be great to talk to the beach manager, the head of the beach, just have a little conversation. They'll want to talk to a couple of businesses. You might need to schedule to see if you're available, maybe to say a few words. Yeah, well, it's going to be 5:30, that's earlier. But also from a DPW standpoint, just to make sure things are clean. From a police standpoint, just knowing people are going to be around, right? And if anything else kind of comes up, mostly I'm going to be talking to the businesses too, to discuss the businesses that are open around that time, make them aware and get them all ready. But like, yeah, just a nice little bit of tiny little slice of content that we can share and to be featured. Probably they say which I'm surprised, they film and they go back and they edit and they get it ready for the new segment, which is perfect.
They actually were here a couple of weeks ago. I called it on Channel 7, and they were up here, and then they went over by the carriage house and they were in the West. And I said, oh.
What's the date of that again?
July 7th, Friday, July 7th.
They should do that.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
What time again? Sorry.
They'll be here from 5:30 a.m. to 9 a.m.
One quick comment. I just wanted to acknowledge that we received a letter from the Oceanport School District on June 16, 2023. There's a copy if anybody wants to get it and read it. Essentially, everyone knows that we are in the process of considering regionalizing with Henry Hudson for K through high school, and the ultimate goal would be to get it to a referendum vote. I'm just summarizing what is in this letter. Oceanport School District generally challenges some of our things, including projected savings and even our ability to do so, since they need at the Board of Ed level that you go to take this to a referendum vote and not at the municipal level. So I just make everybody aware. I mean, obviously our professionals and including our attorneys disagree with this, but nonetheless, I just want to make everybody aware that this letter exists and you're free to read it if you want. Aside from that, I would say progress. I don't think we have a executive session. So with that being said,
Mayor.
Yes, sir. Jeff.
The Finance Committee met.
Oh, sorry, Jeff.
That's okay. That's all right. And we had an opportunity to talk about progress financially for where we're at year to date, both fiscal and calendar year to date. One of the things that we are looking at is the taking inventory of the borough's vehicle fleet to do an analysis on the operational effectiveness of the fleet and the as well as the the financial impact that the fleet has on the town, and trying to understand and get our arms around, do we have what we need from a fleet perspective? Do we have the right types of vehicles in the right number? Are they allocated? What they should be allocated, etc. Just doing a review of the borough's fleet from an operational and financial perspective. That is something that the administration has taken on, and we will report back once we know more about that. One of the things that the committee also discussed in that vein, which helped us sort of the conversation around that, was the fact that we've had some costs coming in high with respect to fueling of some of the vehicles. And again, there's an explanation for that. Certainly want to understand that and unpack that and look at that. But these are the kind of things that obviously is our purview to have oversight on. We can do that and have an understanding as to why those things are where they are, and should there be adjustments with that in mind. So more to come on that. Other than that, we're making progress on a number of things. I'm glad to see that we are where we are with respect to the fire truck. There's a lot of conversation around that, and I'm glad that we got something that works for everybody. Now we can move forward in that way. So other than that, that's all I have.
All right, thanks, Councilman. All right, guys, thanks again for coming out tonight. Nice meeting there. And would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So,
All right, Councilmembers Bieber?
Yes.
Booker?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yeah.